Hello everyone and welcome back to Chris Aquatics. Now, I'm doing another update on my tanks as I've taken a bit of a break from video making as I've had a couple of things in my personal life, but now they're out of the way, we're back to the aquarium videos. So, it's been about a week and a half since I posted last, sorry about that, but I'm going to be back at it now that summer's coming in Australia. We have a lot more breeding outside, so I'll be able to do some better videos of that too. But this is our current setup with all our tanks that I have running at the moment, all in this current sort of picture that you guys can see. So I'm going to get into a bit of detail on some of them and let you guys know what's going on. Starting off with this left tank, the top growth hasn't really changed a great much. You can see that there's lots of new growth on the Syngoniums, all the different types that are in here. Some of them obviously aren't doing the greatest compared to others, but that's kind of how it is with the light and how close they are to it. I have a lid on this one as I had fish that jump in here. I did move them out, so this tank at the moment, you can sort of see the new growth on everything. The Amania gracilis has grown in. If you'll focus, there you go. And this left side looks a lot nicer too. Nothing too crazy in here at the moment. I just have red cherry shrimp. There's a couple of pretty nice graded ones in here too, but they're all hiding at the moment. I'll feed them now and then you guys can see at the end of the video. This tank is a bit odd. There has been quite a lot of growth. However, the light has gone like a greenish color and it's lost the red tint for some reason, so I'm about to look into that. But as you can see, everything has grown in nicely from the stems on the right side, all the different boosters. It's not the greatest lighting, but you can see I do need to get in here and scrape off some algae. I just haven't really wanted to mess with it as everything was going so well. Now most of the fish will be coming out of here in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing a video where I'm adding the gold and white clouds outside to 2 separate tubs as we're going to try to breed them. But other than that, we'll just have the guppies in this tank, the red guppies, the red tail guppies. I don't really know the name for them. The top growth has been awesome too, so I think this is monkey mask, has grown in quite a lot. There's quite a lot of it actually, as you can sort of see. And then the roses in the cradles up here as well. That is to the bigger tank. And then this is Pothos mandula. It's grown in. And I think there's another Pothos in the back. I think that's Snow Queen also. I ended up getting some red root floaters from my friend, so there's quite a few of them across my tanks along with some duckweed, which isn't the greatest, but I haven't minded it at this point. It's not doing too much of harm. Other than that, I haven't really added much plants to this tank. Everything's just been growing in. You can see that the super red's also grown in very well too. That is red, but under the green light it looks a bit different. One of the major changes has been to the 90 litre, so as you guys can see, it looks a lot better now. I hadn't really scaped this in such. I've just tried to put everything where it is to see how it will grow in and balance it out before I do much. That big yellow fish is a pain. I do want to get it out of this tank, but every single time I go near it, it just dashes to the back of the tank. So any tips for catching that, feel free to let me know because I'm currently struggling with it. Now, this tank's a bit overpopulated and the tank's too small for the angels. I plan on upgrading this to a 4 foot, so I wasn't really too bothered with keeping them in here as it wasn't really for long term. But as for the plants, you can kind of just see that it's Amazon swords. Some of it's obviously not doing greatest. You can see this, so I'm about to trim this back. I do not want to really just show you guys the pristine look of my aquariums. I want to show you guys how it looks before I do things, how algae grows and stuff like that. So you can also see with the Bulbitis, this had a sort of like a staghorn / back beard problem, and you can see it got hammered. So it's slowly going back. You can see the green growth, but it doesn't look the greatest, and all the other plants aren't the greatest either. But I'm trying to get the crypts to grow at the base, so we have 2 down here at the moment. But I do need to try to see if I can propagate them to get more. Otherwise, I do have crypts in other tanks I can use. I have a bit of Anubias down here also, along with up here. Obviously, the plants in this tank aren't really the greatest, but I do want to just see what comes good and what doesn't before I start ripping things out, as I like to give plants a chance. The Java Fern was a bit battered as it was in the back of the tank, so now it's sort of making a comeback. I'll show you what I pulled from here, because there's a lot of plants that I pulled from here in other tanks that I can show you guys. But yeah, that's this tank. If you guys want to name any of my aquariums, especially maybe this one could be a good idea, feel free to. Looking at the terrestrial growth, we have a lot up here actually. So having a look, you can see the peace lilies right here. And then there's, I think this is Syngonium arrowhead. This is like a variegated kind of some sort. I don't really know what this one is. I bought it as a green Syngonium and I'm trying to find an example of the leaf. But it's not here. That must be the only one from that one. And yeah, it's kind of got like a variegated type, which is sick. So this one here is spider plant, right? This one's a red flowered anthurium. I think that's how you put it. There's obviously other colored flowers too, but this one's got red flowers. More arrowhead right here. And then this is a type of Syngonium. I don't remember the ID on this, so if you guys can let me know, please do. And then this plant on the end here is like a philodendron. I forget the exact name of it. I think it was like bilbo, something like that. But I have bought so many plants at this point that I can't remember everything. But I did try to have like a full terrestrial growth at the back here. So you can see it's just these little black things. I'll pull one out to show you as I do have a couple spare. So it's just this, and there's obviously clips that go on the back here and hang over the back of the tank. And then I've put sphagnum moss in them to see if they'll grow. Now I've obviously had some possible worries if they will do well or not, as their roots are submerged and kind of covered, but we will see. This is my first testing run, so this has been going for about a week, so hopefully in a month we have good growth and no rotting. Now this aquarium for me is by far my favorite and most exciting for me at the moment. Watching this tank has been awesome. Oh, the glare from that light's terrible. I do frequent water changes on this. As you can see, I recently cleaned the glass, which is why it's kind of parted like this. And you can see in this tank how amazing some of the shrimp are starting to come out. So I think it was somewhere near the front. So there's these two type of blue bolt sort of colors right here. So there's some of the babies that have been made in this tank, which is super cool to see. And then obviously the parents, that's my breath making it a bit, it's a bit humid in this room when I turn off the aircon. This is the one I wanted to show you guys though, this baby right here. So this one has got red on its head, as you guys can sort of see. It's a bit hard to spot, but it's like a red Missouri kind. So the female that dropped these was a blue Missouri female. So I'm hoping that she has a bit of red gene, which is kind of apparent, but like I only see one. So hoping we get a bit more when they do breed, because I only have one red female at the moment. So taking a look at some of the shrimp in here, you can see that red one right there, and there's blue bolts. There's some very nice looking kind of like, it's like a black tiger / shadow panda looking shrimp as well. And then there's obviously the blue Masuras that I have, so some of them look like blue Masuras. But this tank's definitely by far my favorite. The different plants have sort of come their own way. So you can sort of see with this boost, it's slowly growing. The flame moss has definitely doubled in size. The crypt up top has slowly grown, and the Agazu sword has definitely grown also. But yeah, this tank's super basic and I love it. Looking at this one, there's nothing special except breeding behavior, as you can see with these two. So these are Luminatus blue eyes, or red neon blue eyes. I have 3 of them. There's a male and female pair in here, and then there's a female that's down here somewhere. I'm probably blind. There's 2 Gertruidae, or whatever the name is exactly said, in here also, but there's the 3rd female which is in here. So this whole tank is just one big breeding project. There's nothing special about it. The tank's kind of like scruffy, you can see all the marks on it, but I don't really care, it's just for breeding. So I let the walls go green, I let everything go green, and I just feed them high protein foods and get them to breed. So this is the section I'm trying to get them to spawn in. This is like the spawning mop section. Kind of can see some of the eggs in there, but I do take this out every now and then to get all the eggs. I've only really just started getting some success, so nothing too special. This tank is the one that's the most chaos in the room, as we have the super reds and the bronze cories that I got in here. So I have 10 bronze cories and I think it's 6 super reds in here. No, 7 super reds in this tank at the moment. So you can see them all going after the algae wafers, and then there's also all my adult rice fish. I say adult, but all of their babies have grown up outside, and some of them are already adults, which is pretty cool. Now this tank I should say, is very highly planted. The main plants that are doing really well is the Liliopsis, which has started to spread. This crypton here is Cryptonuria Rosen Maiden, and it has got a lot of pups. You can't see because there's a mountain of fish on it, but there is a lot of pups there, which is pretty cool. The Nubius is growing in quite nicely. The Pinto has got new leaves on both sides there and there. As you can see, every single tank needs to be scrubbed of algae, but I did want to share this all with you guys before I did it, as I don't want my tanks to look pristine. There's some various stem plants along the back, including like pink baby tears, and then there's a few different crypts on this side that you can see, and some Umbilibitis. Taking a look in this tank, there's my pygmy cory colony. So there's that female that I was pointing out. So my mate recommended that I just have one female at a time, as the fertility rate wasn't the greatest, so I only have one. The pygmy cories are in here, as you can see. There's one right there. Trying to find a better angle of one, but I don't see any out. Now you can see there's a bit of an algae problem that I'm about to clean up, but I figured I'd share it with you, as not all tanks are perfect. There's also two male Gertruidae pseudomoguls, probably butchered that name, but they're also in here. And then there's just an array of plants, from Anubias to more Bulbitis to more needle-leaf Java fern. And then there's a bit of Java fern at the back and some other types of ferns too. Nothing too special in this tank. Now lastly, we have the bottom row of the rack, which has all my shrimp tanks at the moment. Sorry for the terrible glare of the lights. This tank has blue dreams, sort of. They're blue dream, but they're not really true. You can sort of see females through that gap. These guys are still breeding, and they're very small numbers, like under 20, so it's not really a crazy amount to see in this tank. At the moment, there is just some moss and some bit of crypts planted at the front too, as you can see, and then there's a bit of boost. Moving along to these three, on the right we have my yellow cherries that have, I'm hoping they're going to start breeding again. I did a major cull on this colony and sold off quite a few, so there's only a couple left now, but I'm hoping they will start breeding again. You can see them here. So these ones are a lot nicer looking than I had originally. The babies that are growing up aren't the greatest looking, as you can see, so I'm going to have to cull again. You can see more algae on the glass. But yeah, I thought I would share these guys with you too. So there's this more. I've got lots of Java ferns. So this is the one that was in the big tank that wasn't doing too well. You can see all the pups that it's throwing off. But yeah, this tank's pretty cool. This one's the Bloody Marys. I've tried to do like a sort of moss carpet, but there's a bit of hair algae on the front in there, so I'm gonna have to clean that out. But as I said, I just want to share this with you guys. So there's also a piece of Bulbitis. This is a different type. I forget the exact name, but I will get that up on the screen right now for you. I have this piece of Anubias that I've had for quite a while, and it shot out 2 leaves. So you can see the new leaf all the way up there, and then that's the sort of newest leaf, and then it's currently shooting out a new one, which is pretty cool. There's Physidens moss in here as well, and then there's lots of Bloody Mary shrimp. My last tank is my snowballs, which is overrun with willow moss, which is pretty cool. I didn't have a lot of this when I first started, like a couple little strands, and now you can see the entire tank is willow, which is really awesome. I have my snowball shrimp in here with a couple of little rice fish baby fry that are growing up in here too. Sorry for that. So you can sort of see the different sizes down in there of fry that you can see. So some of them are different batches. These guys all on the bottom row have kind of stopped breeding for the winter, but they're starting to pick up now that it's becoming spring and summer in Australia. So all of these tanks obviously are runoff sponges. So this entire rack here, this whole thing, every level is run off of one big aerator that I purchased on eBay. I got it off eBay. It's by Halea. It's an air pump. However, other than that, guys, there's nothing too crazy going on. That bloody yellowfish is driving me mad. Please, any suggestions for removing him would be great. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video of me doing my updates on my stuff. Out of everything you saw today, feel free to leave a comment down below of what you want to see next, and I'll make that top comment with the most likes my next video. Other than that, I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye everyone. Feel free to like and subscribe.